Hello, friends. Good evening from my side, and wherever you are, I greet you and encouraging you to stay positive, stay good for yourself, and do great things for yourself. Always make yourself happy. I also welcome you to this live broadcast, and I'm also encouraging you to join me. Share your view. That thing you have inside of you is useless until you let it out. Somebody somewhere need your contribution. Of course, you are here for a purpose. You are not here by accident. Nature brought you forth, and you are here to bless others naturally, not spiritually, naturally. So we are here for one another. I welcome you once again, and I'll be discussing with us, or want us to share, on what I titled Doctrine of My Parents or My Ancestors. Doctrine of my parents or my ancestors. As you know, I used to be a Christian, and I know that many of us, especially those of us from Africa, we know about Christianity, or we know about Christ, about the Bible. So most of the thing I'll be saying, I'll be even using the Bible to show you how they use the Bible to make us forget our ancestors. In fact, the only way they want us to even respect our parents is when they are in the Lord. He said, obey your parents in the Lord. If your parents are not in the Lord, they tell you that Jesus brought division in the family. The father will be against the children, and children against the father. So the only time they want you to respect your parents, your loved ones, is if they are also in the Lord with you. But if they are not, they say you should hate them for Jesus. You should let them go for Jesus. No. Because every religion comes to bring division, comes to bring hatred among people. Religion hates love. Religion preach love, but really hate love. Religion preach peace, but really hate peace. Religion hate unity. Religion hate. If you can say, maybe I don't know what I'm saying, because you know that you don't. If you belong to any religion, you don't agree with other people in other religion. You don't congregate with them. You don't unify with them. Both of you don't agree, unless maybe when you want to make some show, to put up some show, to tell people, oh, maybe we are together, but in the real essence, you're not. Religion brings division. It's a natural order of religion. It brings hatred. It's a natural order of religion. So, when you read your Bible, you hear Jesus talking about his father. Jesus wasn't talking about his mother. He wasn't talking about his people. And I want to show you that whenever you hear about God is the father of Jesus, they replace that our ancestors with God. The God that you're supposed to know are your ancestors, not any invisible God. That's why they tell you you cannot see that God. Rita, you're welcome. The God you cannot see does not exist. Ask yourself, why is it that all religions believe in invisible God that their members or their followers or their congregation cannot see? And the most funny part of it is that, they believe that this God is almighty. The almighty God that cannot show himself is not almighty. The God who has the power to do all things, the God who's supposed to be everywhere, see everything, but he cannot allow you to see him, that God does not exist. It's a sham. Men made it up. But the real gods that you're supposed to think about, you're supposed to consider, are your ancestors. So, listen, I want to use the story of Jesus in the Bible. Remember, it's a story. It's not an incident that really happened. It's a story. They stole it from our ancient ancestors and personify all of them, or most of them, and they put it there as the word of God you must live by, although they put it there to support their religion and the lies they sold to us. So, had Jesus followed the doctrine that his parents taught him, his people would have not said he is out of his mind. They would have not said that. Because he was born among the people, according to the Bible. So if Jesus had followed the way his parents and all their neighbors or all their brothers or brotherhood were following, they wouldn't have said he was mad. They wouldn't have said, don't listen to him. Jesus wasn't preaching the law of Moses. Because if he did, the Pharisees and the scribes wouldn't have been against him. And I will use the Bible to show you that Jesus himself said, according to the Bible, his doctrine is not of the law, it's not of this world. Just as he said his kingdom is not of this world. But the law of Moses is of this world. Got from Mount Sinai, right, in Egypt. Because they stole it from our ancestors, the ancient Kemet. So I want to read from the Bible to show you, right? Let me read John chapter 7 first, about the doctrine that Jesus preached, the doctrine that Jesus taught. Although they will quote Matthew chapter 7 and say that Jesus said, I did not come to abolish the law, but to fulfill it. So Jesus never preached the law. He said, I did not come to abolish it, but to fulfill it. He did not preach the law, he did not teach the law, and the law is supposed to be the law of God, the commandments of God, that you say you must keep. But Jesus did not preach it. And you say you are a Christian or you believe in Jesus. But Muslims believe in Jesus also. But you are not following what Jesus was saying in the Bible. And I want to show you that these people lied to us, that it's supposed to be the teachings of our ancestors that we're supposed to be keeping if we truly have ancestors. Huh? Of course, the Bible is a sheet, Anita. So, John chapter 7, 16 and 18. Let me read what Jesus said there. Oh, no King James Version. Well, let's get together and feel alright. One love. John chapter 7 from 16 to 18, he said, Jesus answered them and said, my doctrine is not mine. I came from somewhere, so I'm supposed to be speaking from my source. We came from somewhere. We're supposed to be speaking from our source. Our ancestors are our source. Not invisible God in the sky. Not Jesus Christ. Our ancestors are our source. You cannot deny that. No matter how stupid you think you are in your religion, your ancestors are your source. Without your ancestors, you won't be here today. My doctrine is not mine, but his who sent me. Who sent you? Your ancestors, not God, not Jesus, not Mary, not any God, no matter what they name it. The one that who sent you to this world are your ancestors. It is a natural thing. It is common sense. It has nothing to do with any spirituality. It has nothing to do with any ideology. It is a natural fact. It is a factual truth that if you deny it, if you are a man, go and look for a woman, have sex with that woman, get that woman pregnant, you will reproduce. You will create another human being. No God can do that. No invisible God can do that. If you believe that God created you and God cannot create man today, as you believe he created the first man and first woman, then that God does not exist. They lied to you, as they lied to me. Here, verse 17, if anyone wills to do his will, not the will that you read in Torah. He said that my doctrine is not mine. If anyone wills to do his will, he shall know concerning the doctrine, whether it is from God or whether I speak of my own authority. Remember, they call him rabbi. Had it been he was speaking from the book of the law of God, right? They wouldn't have been against it, but he said, if anyone wills to do the will of him who sent him, he will know concerning his doctrine, whether they are from God. verse 18, he says, he who speaks from himself seeks his own glory, but he who seeks the glory of the one who sent him is true, and no unrighteousness is in him. You cannot condemn me when I'm speaking about my ancestors. You cannot convict me of any evil, of any sin, when I'm telling you about my ancestors. All right, but you can find errors in what I'm saying when I start speaking about God. You cannot see about Jesus. You cannot see about imaginary beings, imaginary friends, angels, demons, satans that you cannot see. You will easily find for. But when I'm talking about my ancestors, I am one with my ancestors, and when I speak from that source, there is no being on earth that can condemn me. You cannot find unrighteousness when you are speaking what your ancestors really taught. I don't know if you are getting it. That's why I say, had Jesus followed the doctrines of that his parents taught him, as our parents taught us. Listen, whatever our parents taught us, they didn't know what they taught us. They taught us lies because they were taught also. And the people that taught them were taught. And the first people that were taught Christianity, Islam, Judaism in Africa, we are forced to accept it. They did not receive it wholeheartedly. They did not receive it voluntarily. They did not receive it because they had the preaching, they had the gospel, they had the good news. No, they were forced as slaves. They were beaten to accept Jesus Christ as their Lord. They were forced to say, if you don't say Jesus Christ is the Lord, the slave master, will beat Jesus into you, and sometimes you will die. So people that don't want to die or don't want to be tortured, they say, okay, I accept Jesus. And the mothers, they force mothers, our ancestors, to teach their children the same way. So when their children were growing up, they said, Jesus is Lord, let's go to church. That's how they captured our mind. And we have mental slavery today. Every African is mentally enslaved. That's why they can say they are Christian or Islam or Judaism. But the factual truth is setting us free today. Consider that, right? So when you say nobody forced you to become a Christian, nobody forced you to accept Jesus Christ, you don't know what you're saying, you are lying. For example, when you were born, your mother forced you to go Sunday school, church, morning mass. You know how they used to wake you up? Sometimes they sprinkle water on you to wake you up, or they flog you to get you up. They force you to become a Christian. They force you to become a Muslim. You did not grow up and decided to be a Christian. No, you were indoctrinated. That is child abuse. All of us were abused by our parents to accept their religion. Of course, which parents wouldn't want their children to follow their way? As I said, my father and my mother, they don't talk to me as they used to now because of what I'm saying about God. My father said his mother taught him that, and he taught me that. Why should I leave it? Why I should continue? I said, no. You taught me a lie, and I taught my daughter a lie. But now I have found the truth. I'm telling you that you taught me a lie, and I told my daughter I taught her a lie. It's a lie. Let us follow the truth. The God we believe in does not exist. That God cannot help us in our time of need. That God cannot pay our house rent. That God cannot fix our anything. That God, although we said He's Almighty, when we need Him to pray, when we raise our hands to pray, whatever we do in praise and worship, we believe that God is Almighty. Yet He cannot solve our tiniest problem. He cannot, although we believe He exists. So when you say nobody forced you, you were forced. So Jesus' parents also taught him. Let me read it before I continue with how people reacted to Jesus when he was teaching what is contrary to what the servants of God, the Pharisees and scribes and Sadducees, all of them were servants of God, and they were against Jesus. But let me read how Jesus' parents took him to, indoctrinated him. They took him to the temple, right? They took him to the temple, and That's how Jesus began to do whatever. That's where they brainwash people in the temple, in the church, in mosque, in religious places. That's where they brainwash people, right? So Jesus' parents also took him to the church. And I will show us how they did that. Okay, so let's read Luke chapter 2. Some of you already know where I'm going, all right? Luke chapter 2. Luke chapter 2, from verse 27, 39, and to 50. 27, it says, so, no. Let me see. They took him to the temple. Waiting for the. From verse 22, not 27, I made a mistake. 22 said, now when the day of her purification, according to the law of Moses, were completed, they brought Jesus to Jerusalem to present him to the Lord. If you're a Christian, you understand what this place means when they say child dedication or naming the child. What is it, Christian or whatever they call it? Like baptism. Anglican call it baptism. You know, oh, Sunday is the day baptism day for my child. They invite people, they marry after that. So that's what they did to Jesus. And in Luke chapter 2, verse 22, they took Jesus to the temple. Illiterate of 21st century will no longer be those who cannot read and write, but those who can, yeah, I'm familiar with that, who cannot be able to unlearn the lies that was told to them. Yeah, I know you're right. So Jesus' parents took him to the temple, carry him. Jesus did not walk with him; they carry him first to the temple. All of us, you know your baptismal name. My baptismal name is Shadrach, right? That is my baptismal name, right? So my Igbo name is Afamefuna, but I later changed it to Chinemerem. You know, and my last name, which my parents bear then, was Ezangwe, which I later changed to Ezebube, right? So all those things is religious influence over my life. All those changes and all those things I did. So the same way Jesus' parents carried him to the temple, that's the same way our parents carried us to the temple. Jesus' parents carried him to the temple to fulfill the law. Our parents also carry us to the temple to fulfill the doctrine of the religion they belong to fulfill what they believe was captured or was cut out from the Bible. They think they are following the Bible. As Jesus' parents took him to the temple, our parents also took us to the temple. So if you tell me nobody forced you to believe in Jesus, you are ignorant of what you are saying or you hate to hear the truth. Okay, so let me skip to verse 39. I've shown you that Jesus' parents took him to the temple, just as they took us. Whether you are a Christian or Muslim, your parents were the one that took you to that religion, not you. You did not decide to become a Christian or a Muslim. You were forced by your parents to accept it. Even when you don't know what to say, anything, they took you there. And you don't know what happened. Some of you, if I ask you, who was the priest that baptized you? And I say, I don't know. You're supposed to know who baptized you now, I suppose. You know. From verse 9. Okay, now, here. Remember what I'm saying, right? How they indoctrinated Jesus. And they also indoctrinated us. And many of us are being indoctrinated to become Christians and Muslims, especially we Africans. And that has messed us up, of course. Islam and Christianity are the two evil forces that have destroyed Africa. And that's why Africans are hard to come together the same way Christianity and Islam is fighting. You know, Christians fighting among them. The same way Africans will never unite until they trash Christianity and Islam out of Africa. Even if they didn't eliminate it completely, at least they make them lesser religion and embrace our African way of living. That's the only way Africans can unite. And you know they will not allow that. But the truth shall prevail. We are waking up. When majority of Africans wake up, it will be easier to trash Christianity, Islam out of Africa. Yeah, so from verse 39. So when they had performed all the things according to the law of the Lord, they returned to Galilee, to their own city, Nazareth. And the child, Jesus, grew up and became strong in spirit. Who knew when a child is strong in spirit? Tell me. It's a story they put in the Bible. These people, they tell you, God is the only one that knows the heart. Yet they will tell you that the fool say in his heart, there is no God. They tell you only God knows the heart. How do you know that the child was strong in spirit? How do you know? They just put it there to deceive you. Oh, your child is coming to church. Yeah, he's strong in spirit. He will be a great man of God. He is a prophet. Oh, no, leave him. The drag law show. Yeah, he's a man of God. All those Rastafarians, all that shit. And the child grew and became strong in spirit, filled with wisdom. And the grace of God was upon him. How do they know the grace of God was upon the child? Again, they said the grace of God was upon this child. How did they know that? That's how our parents also did with us. They believe grace of God is upon you because they prayed. They prophesied, they anoint you with olive oil, anointed oil, all that, taking you to church. Maybe they see you also mimicking your pastors. You know, children, when they see all this going on in the church, when they go home, they begin to practice them. Oh, mama, receive it, receive it, receive it. And the parents will say, yeah, the Spirit of God is upon my child. The grace of God is upon him. He must be a man of God. I have seen some people say that their mother tell them they are special children. They are servant of God. The prophet say that you will be a great man of God. That's nonsense. All you need to be is a great human being. That is natural thing you're supposed to be. But when they begin to tell you, but because that's what your parents wanted. Especially if you are religious, of course, listen to such things. If you are not among the leaders in religion, you are being robbed. You are being deceived, because you are the one losing. All the money you are giving in your tithes and offerings, you can't get them back. But at least if one of your children becomes a pastor, a minister, a priest, you can get the money back, even much more, because it's a business. You're supposed to participate in it, just like in politics. If you are just voting in politics, you are wasting your time and you are just a moron to them. Participate, try to take any post in any position in politics. That's how you make things back instead of wasting your time. That's why I don't engage in politics and religion. If I want to engage in it, then I have to I have to become a leader there. I have to have a post. Either senator, rep, president, governor, whatever post that somebody can occupy. Until you occupy that post, you are just a follower, wasting your time and money in that religion or politics. I don't do that nonsense anymore, wasting my time and money for them now. Yeah. Okay, verse 41. His parents went to Jerusalem every year at the feast of the Passover, like when you have bazaar, when you have Thanksgiving, every year, right? Apart from the weekly services, every year there's special stuff in your church, in your religion, they do every year. They go to Mecca, they go for pilgrimage in Jerusalem, in Mecca, and all that nonsense. But they won't go to Egypt, where our ancestors came from. Egypt area, Kemet. They won't go to Ethiopia, because it's black. They have painted everything white. Everything black, they paint it white. But soon the paint will wash away and we will see the true black, which is what we are doing. His parents went to Jerusalem every year at the feast of Passover. And when he was 12 years old, that is the year of confirmation in Anglican. That was the year I was confirmed as Anglican member. I don't know about Roman Catholic and other churches, Christian churches, the age that a child gets to become confirmed. You remember, he said confirmed. If God is the one that gives children, why do that child need confirmation from any church? God gives children. Why are you confirming him to be a member of any church? You know, if the parents is member of the church, it's already confirmed that the child, he said that the child is holy by the faith of his parents. It's in your Bible. 1 Corinthians chapter 7. These people, they carry Bible, they don't read Bible, they don't know what is in the Bible either. When he was 12, when I was 12, my parents bought me Bible and the Bible. It's a prayer book, I don't the hymn book. That the Bible contains all the hymns, all the doctrines of Anglican Church. So when you must carry two of them like this, you are going, going to church. Yeah. And I was also one of the choir members or choristers in St. John's Anglican Church, figure on it. So I was not just going to church, I was also participating. I know how to sing. That's why today when I hear some hymns again, oh wow. Well, if you listen to hymns in Anglican Church, you will think you are in heaven, because these people spend a lot of money to train people to sing those hymns, right? So, and it is captivating. Just as the same way praise and worship today captivate members of Pentecostal churches. People, when they remember the praise and worship, they go crazy. Radical for Jesus. Radical for Jesus. So all those crap, you know. So when he was 12 years old, they went up to Jerusalem according to the custom of the feast. When they had finished the days, as they returned, the boy Jesus, not the man Jesus, the boy Jesus lingered behind in Jerusalem. And Joseph and his mother. Why they didn't say Joseph his father? They said Joseph and his mother. They're supposed to say and his father and his mother. They said Joseph and his mother because they tried to distance Joseph from Jesus and say Jesus is the son of God. Nonsense. And Joseph and his mother did not know it. Of course, when you begin to do something that your parents, not used to, they won't know it. Because our parents are ignorant when it comes to the truth. Because they were indoctrinated to become Christians. Our Christian parents, our Christian Muslims, they are ignorant of the truth. That is the fact. Stop. It does not mean you disrespect them. It does not mean you dishonor them. No. People, if somebody don't know the truth, that person don't know the truth. It means that person is ignorant of what they are saying or doing. So it's not maybe disrespecting your parents or my parents. No, every child love their parents. That is a fact. You don't need to tell a child to love his parents. Unless his parents don't care about him, then he will. But no matter what, at a point, he will still have that feeling for his parents. It's a natural connection. It's not a spiritual thing. Verse 44. But supposing him to have been in the company. So you see, they go in a company, for traveling as people travel today. I remember when I used to jump trailer belonging to Church of God to go to Church of God meetings in Benin. When I go for the Church of God convention, especially that Sunday, the last day of the convention, the last day of the meeting. Woo! See the lunch rally the host we put, and we jump in, we go in. Just as people still doing today in Lagos, when it comes to winners, right? You see people jumping into cars, asking for, I want to go. In company, they go in droves. Going to see the God they say exists everywhere. They left the God in their house. Then they go into the God in the house of God, built by some men. So they went a day journey and sought him among their relatives and acquaintances. So when they did not find him, they returned to Jerusalem, seeking him. Let me not speak on that. Verse 46. Now so it was that after 3 days, can you listen to this story? 3 days you are looking for your child. You went to temple with your child. And for 3 days, you are looking for your child. Then after 3 days, they found him in the temple, sitting in the midst of the teachers. What was Jesus eating in the temple? Maybe from the tithes that people came with in the temple, because tithe was supposed to be food, alcohol, drinks. That's what tithes meant for. When that yearly they come to the temple, people come. It's your Bible, Deuteronomy chapter 14. Tithing is not money. Tithing is what you're supposed to be eating. And he's saying that year when they come to the temple, Jerusalem, you use the money you sell from your tithe, from the agricultural tithe you sell and make the money, use it to buy agricultural things to eat also. Things made from wine. Wine is not the one you brewed in somewhere. It's made from fruits and all that. Alcohol also. You say buy anything your heart want in the temple. So when they say Jesus drove away those people making money in the temple, remember, God was the one that instituted that law in the first place. Jesus came to fulfill the law. So why did he drive away people selling things in the temple? God said, when you get to the temple, buy anything your heart want to. So money changers are there also. Okay. Okay, I'm selling my own in dollars. No, you need a money changer in the temple to change it. Because you sold your own maybe in naira or in pounds. Now you get to the temple, they say we are using dollars here. Okay, you have to convert the money in dollars first, then you buy whatever you want. Get it? So when you say Jesus came to fulfill the law, I don't know why he drove away those merchants from the temple. Why they are selling things God said they should be doing. Yeah, money changers. God, he drove them away. They are doing business in the temple. It's always business. If you understand the drill. So he was sitting in the midst of the teachers, both listening to them and asking them questions, and all who heard him were astonished at his understanding and answers. So when they saw him, when his parents saw him, they were amazed. And his mother said to him, Son, his mother said to him, Son, why have you done this to us? Look, your father and I have sought you anxiously. And Jesus said to them, Why did you seek me? Why did you seek me? Did you not know that I must be about my father's business? Come on, Jesus, your father Joseph was looking for you. Which father are you talking about again? His father was Joseph in the temple seeking for him, and when found, he said, Why have you done this to us? He said, Don't you know I must be after my father's business? What is Jesus' father's business? Joseph was a carpenter and Joseph was his father. Mary said, myself and your father has been seeking for you. Because they want to tell you Jesus had another business, another father. Just as you have ancestors, not just your parents. You must be after your ancestral business. The business of your ancestors, you must be about that. Your ancestors built pyramids. They were engineers. They were scientists. They were great people that built great things. The first people to build house with stone, we are not white people. You are ancestors. You are African ancestors. But you think they were stupid. You think they were ignorant. No, you are more ignorant. You are ignorant. Your ancestors weren't ignorant. That's why the evil men came and destroyed their library, destroyed their land, killed them. And today, because you are a Christian or a Muslim, you say your ancestors were ignorant. They were idol worshippers. That's why they made a lot of mistakes. The worst mistake you have made is accepting Christianity and Islam. Your ancestors did not accept that. They have to kill them. They have to force them to accept it. Jesus said to his father and mother, I must be after my father's business. Can you say to your parents today, you must be after your ancestors' business? Can you say that? I said that to my father already. We must know the truth. We must follow the truth. Not my father don't know his father. He don't know his great-grandfather. He don't know all that. Because his father died before he was born, right? Then nobody tell him about anything about his father. Unless when I go to Nigeria this year again, I will ask him, maybe he knows something. But he don't know about even the man we were bearing his name, Ezeanwe. I need to know his story. Yes, when I go to Nigeria this year, I must know about him more. I changed my last name from Ezeanwe to Ezebe because I believe what I heard, negatively, that, our ancestors, they made some charms to protect us, so that charm is of the devil. Of course, my family, among my kindred, if you make any juju or any charm against us, it will not affect us. They say it's because of what our ancestor Ezeanwe made. It's a covenant he made that his children, evil will not come up on them and they will not do evil. And if I go to use any charm against anybody, it will not work. I've tested it. It's true. But because I was a born-again Christian, because I was a Pentecostal, I said I don't want to have anything to do with Ezeanwe. And I even had a dream. I had a dream. I saw a big tree, then a branch cut off from it. I interpreted it. I am the branch. I am cut off from Ezeanwe family. I'm telling you, it's not something that somebody told me. Because what you believe, you begin to dream about it. What you see, you begin to dream about it. Whatever you cherish, you will begin to dream about it. It has nothing to do with any God, anywhere calling you or that. Your ancestors were the one calling you, but because you have been indoctrinated, you are saying it's God calling you, it's Allah calling you, it's this calling you. You say you have seen God, you have seen Jesus in the dream, but not in reality. Jesus said to his parents, who are alive, who he can see, I must be about my father's business. Which father was he talking about? You already concluded he's talking about God, God in heaven, God nobody have seen. I must be about my father's business. That's what Jesus said. Who are our fathers, our ancestors? His parents were there. I want you to, let me read it again. Verse 49. And Jesus said to his parents, why did you seek me? Why is my parents seeking me, making me to continue in their religion, in whatever they believe in? Why are they worried about? You don't have to worry about, I'm a grown man now. Jesus said this when he was 12 years old. But see me already having gray hair. I'm no longer a young man. I'm an old man now. I'm older than most of you, okay? Even double or 3 times older than most of you that are coming on Facebook making noise in my ears about shit you don't know anything about. Jesus said to his parents, his living parents, the mother that gave birth to him, and the father he knew as his father, Joseph, he says, why did you seek me? Did you not know that I must be about my father's business? Can you say that to your parents? They're supposed to know that we must be about our ancestors' business. They established certain things for us to continue from there. But this evil man came, killed our ancestors, and forced us to become Christians and the Muslims. And we stupidly defending them. I don't want to hurt my parents. Some of you, you still go to church because you don't want to hurt your parents. You still say Jesus is Lord because you don't want to hurt your parents. Not because you really want to. Some of you are waiting for your parents to die, then you will switch. That's nonsense. They don't have to die. Do it now. Show them the truth. They need to know the truth before they go to the grave. So when they come to the next world, they will know there is difference between a lie and the truth. Yes, you can correct your parents' error. You can correct them also. Because they did not know what they taught you or what they teach you. They taught them that. Then they passed them down to you. Don't die in that error. Don't die in whatever your parents put you in because their religion taught them. So Jesus said, I must be about my father's business. I must be my ancestors' business. Jesus said that to his parents. He must be about his father's business, saying his father is in heaven. He said God is Father. Anyway, God is not my father. My ancestors, they are my fathers. That the one I must be about their business, not about God I have not seen or I cannot see. No, it's about my parents. Hear what verse 50 says, but they did not understand the statement which he spoke to them. Our parents, my parents don't understand the statement I'm making. They don't understand. All they know is Jesus. Jesus is Lord. There is God. God will bless us. God will do this how many years? My father gave birth to me. I asked him, at my age, you still praying that God will bless you. I said, when will God bless you? He said, time is coming. Remember, me, as old as I am, my father is still waiting for God to bless him. I said, when will this happen? You have children. When will God answer your prayers? Every morning, every night, every time you are, my parents pray and worship God. Like, how do I qualify? The normal religious people, they are extremists when it comes to worship of God. Every religious people do. Morning and night, you pray in your house. Also within the week and also Sunday, you still go to, or Saturday or Friday, you still go to temple, church, synagogue, or shrine to worship God. So the belief of God consume your time and your life. And you think you know what you are doing. No, they don't understand. Our parents, our Christian parents don't understand our statement when we're telling them about our ancestors and not about God they were forced to believe in. Our Muslim parents don't understand our statement about our ancestors because it's not about the God of Islam. You're supposed to know that they don't understand, so it will make you to know better. I don't feel any bad about that. In fact, they're saving more time and money for me. Of course. They believe God is the provider. Okay, let God provide. I'm not the one that can provide. After all, it's parents that are supposed to provide for me. It's in your Bible also, right? Your Bible says that the parents should provide for the children and not the children for the parents. It's in your Bible. You only care for your parents when they're old, they cannot do anything. And from where will you support them? From what you get from them. A good man leaves inheritance for his what? Children's children. It is in your Bible. You're welcome, Innocentia. So the parents of Jesus did not understand. So when you are praying for Mary, you Catholics, you say Virgin Mary to come and help you. She's ignorant. She don't understand anything about Christianity. She don't understand anything about Christ. He said his parents did not understand the statement which he spoke to them. So how do you think Mary will understand all your prayer? Virgin Mary, Holy Mary, pray for all sinners. Nonsense. She don't understand anything. The Pope even tell you that Mary is dead. Why are you still praying to the dead woman? Mary is dead. Even if you say she's in heaven. He died before he went there. Nobody can go to heaven without dying first. Jesus died before he go to heaven. You have to die. They tell you, oh, no, the wind carried Elijah and Enoch and whatever Moses to heaven. Nonsense. Okay, then they put it in Revelation that the two prophets, they will come and die. And they already tell you it's Moses and Elijah. Right? Okay. The parents, our parents don't understand what we are talking as awakened people. Because they have been taught lie, which they taught us. Yeah, it's a hogwash. Stop believing maybe your ancestor did bad thing is affecting you. Now, it's a lie they put in the Bible. Why should God punish children for the sins of the parents? I want you to understand that because it's in the Ten Commandments, which they stole from Africa. They say that God punished the generation of the evildoers, even to the fourth generation of them that hate him. How can you say, I hate God who have not sinned? No, I hate religion. I hate whatever that religion stands for. If that religion belong to believe in any God, I also hate that God. And I have not seen him. Why should God punish me when I have not seen him? How can you say I hate God who I have not seen? No, I hate the God you are introducing me. The God that cause evil. The God that allow evil. The God that cannot help you in your time of need. The God that only punish you when you do bad, but he cannot reward you when you do good unless you die. That's when he will reward you. I hate that God. I don't hate you, the living God, the visible God, my fellow human beings. You are gods. I don't hate you. But if you said you also believe in that invisible God, I hate that invisible God. It does not exist. So I'm hating nothing. That's what it means. So stop believing that God is punishing you because of your ancestors. That's another silly thing people believe. You believe, oh, God allow white people to enslave our ancestors because they were idol worshippers or they were doing any bad thing. Nonsense. Okay, worshipping idol and killing people, which one is worse? Oh, I worship idol, then God kill me. That's nonsense. God commands somebody to kill me because I worship idol. I did not kill anybody. I only worship idol. Let's say I'm idol worshiper. Then God allows somebody to come and kill me. Murder and idol worship, which one is bad? Idol worship is not bad. Murder is bad. Killing somebody is bad. You say that God allowed white people to enslave your ancestors, and that's why you are suffering. Because our ancestors were idol worshippers. They did not kill people. Our ancestors were not enslaving one another as they lied to you. Our ancestors were not worshipping idols. They were honoring their fathers and mothers, making their status, just as you have the picture of your late father and late mother. Our ancestors weren't worshipping any idols. Though among them, there are people that believe in invisible God also. The concept of invisible God originated from your ancestors. Before these thieves, these criminals came and said that you must believe in their own God. And they begin to give that invisible God name. They say his name is Jehovah. His name is Yahweh. His name is Allah. Our ancestors did not give name to any invisible God. All this nonsense you're causing today, it is all colonial nonsense that brought it. Our ancestors weren't naming anything. Say, okay, this God, his name is this nonsense. No. Excuse me. You're supposed to know the truth. Jesus said to his parents, just as you're supposed to be telling to your parents, Jesus said, I must be after my father's business. My doctrine is not of this world. He said, my doctrine is not mine. My doctrine is not the law. My doctrine is not Torah. But my doctrine is from him who sent me. He was not preaching the law. The teachers of the law were against him. But he said, my doctrine. So Jesus did not preach whatever his people believe in. He was preaching something different. And when you read like Matthew chapter 8, the last part of it, he said when people heard from Jesus, they were amazed and said he speak like one with authority and not like the scribes. You see that? The scribes taught Torah. The scribes taught the law of Moses. But Jesus, that was not his doctrine. That was not the doctrine that his parents taught him. So I'm asking you again, which doctrine are you upholding? The doctrines that your parents taught you or the doctrines of your ancestors? You and your ancestors have your source in you and your parents have your source in your ancestor, not in doctrine of Christianity or doctrine of Islam. Just as Jesus and his parents, according to the Bible, had their source in God, that Jesus said it was his father. So Jesus said to his parents, I must be about my father's business. But his father was there. He was talking about someone else. Just as the same way you must be after your ancestors' business, not the nonsense your parents taught you in Christianity and Islam. Africans, I'm talking to us. We need to wake up and begin to find out what our ancestors taught. The Ten Commandments were stealing from what our ancestors taught. It is called the law of my heart or commandments of my heart. Some people call it negative confession because it is like you saying, I have not done this, I have not killed my fellow human being, I have not done this. You know, but some people, but they say it's a law from like by the day and the night, or coming forth from the day or night and all that. But you can research and know all that. Our ancestors weren't evil people. That's why they never enslaved any other people. Tell me where black people enslaved any other race. Then you will know you're right that they were enslaving one another. Our ancestors never enslaved one another. They weren't wicked as the white men are to them even till today. Our ancestors weren't going about taking other people's land. They live with what is called open border. You don't satisfy with what is happening with me, just go somewhere else and start your life. They weren't building borders. They weren't making passports saying before you cross you need a visa. It's wickedness. All this, you need passport, you need visa to travel all anywhere in the world, is out of the wickedness of men. And that's why we are suffering today. Yet you think your ancestors were wrong. No. If you believe that Christianity is of God, Islam is of God, why all this needing visa and passport to travel anywhere? You said the earth is the Lord in your Bible, Psalm 24 verse 1 and 2. He has made everything in it without boundaries. But in Acts of Apostle, they put boundaries there. If the earth is the Lord and the world and everything in it, everyone in it, why do you need to build walls against other people? Why do you need what do you call it, passport and visa to travel to another country? Wake up, my people. Sky God and his bastard son Jesus never existed anywhere. Of course, I know. You're welcome, my dear. Think about it, my people. They have lied to us about everything in the Bible, in the Quran, in the Torah. The story of Jesus itself will open your eyes. I don't subscribe to the Bible, but the more I read it, I begin to see how they lie to us. Which one that Jesus was saying sent him? Him that sent him. Who gave birth to Jesus? They tell you God, by the power of the Holy Spirit, impregnated Mary. And he gave birth to Jesus. But the Bible, Mary called Joseph the father of Jesus. Mary did not say, God is your father, Jesus. No. Jesus. Mary said to Jesus, myself and your father, we have been looking for you. For 3 days now. Okay, we find you. Jesus said, why are you people seeking for me? Don't you know I'm supposed to be about my father's business? Hey, Jesus, are you crazy? Your father is right here. Jesus said, no, you guys don't know. And they said they did not understand the statement which he said to them. Don't expect any Christian, any African Christian or any African Muslim to understand the statement you are making about our ancestors. And don't expect those ones that still believe in that silly gods of Africans to understand what you are saying. I told you I'm against all religion, domestic and foreign. It doesn't matter whether it's African religion or foreign religion. All of them are nonsense. They cannot help you. The religions that our ancestors had did not help them when white men came. And that was their downfall. Because they believed there is this God. So they came and they tell them, okay, God. And they begin to believe them. They believe so much in the invisible God, they don't care to look to those strangers that come to kill them, to make sure they are good people. They just welcome them. Okay, don't worry. God is watching us. God will do this. God is not watching us anything. Before you allow somebody in your house, make sure you know the person. If you don't know the person, put that person somewhere else. Stop accepting strangers as your friends. That's how many of us have failed, and that's how we still falling. It has nothing to do with any God. Our nonsense believe in God. Entertain strangers. Excuse me, strangers, there is hotel. Go sleep in the hotel. Or there's a place, marketplace, you can go sleep there. But for you to come into my house, As a stranger, I allow you in. I will never trust you because I don't know you. I have to get to know you. But when our parents welcome the strangers, as entertain them, they begin to tell them, do you know that God you're worshiping, you say you cannot see? We have seen that God. He sent his son. His son died for you. If you don't believe in his son, you will burn in hellfire. They found out our parents say, get out. We eat fire here. They said, okay, they went back. Then they came. They came to kill them. Because they found you cannot make people to abandon their God just by wars. You have to force them. But Japanese, they were smarter. All the things they did to them, they threw 2 atomic bombs. They did not let go of their ancestors. They did not let go of the God they believe in. Until today, you see how Japanese or Japan, you see, when you're talking about war power, they are ranked. They are ranked among the top ones there. But when you talk about war power, who think about any country in Africa? No. You don't even... Africa is a continent. Yeah, you cannot think the whole Africa to say, okay, they belong to war power. No. They are world slaves. That's where you put Africa. What helped them? What helped who? What helped who? You mean the white people or something? Or the Japanese? Yeah, Japanese people, they have that notion of a nation, of a people. They do not let go of themselves. As I heard, they said that somebody that was their leader at that time called the youths among them and said, listen, they're sending them to America. They are going there to learn about whatever they know. And they should not marry any foreign wife. And they will come back and develop Japan. And that's what they did, according to history, according to what I heard. So what helped Japanese people is they hold on to their ancestors, what they believe, why they are learning from even their oppressors. But what happened to Africans? Africans abandoned their ancestors, abandoned their God, and want to be like the oppressors, want to worship the God of oppressor. If this oppressor succeeded in oppressing us, their God must be higher than our God. That is the problem of Africa. Somebody under gunpoint robbed you. You believe he succeeded because his God is greater than your God. That is the error of our ancestors. Those ones that that believe in God. It makes them, they become vulnerable. Because believing God will make you vulnerable. Anybody that say, God say, like today, you see how pastors are using God to rob people. Imams, all of them that are using God to rob people. God said this, you believe. Which God? If that God exists, let that God talk to you. If God exists, nobody should tell you God said. God's supposed to speak to you directly. Not telling you God said, which God? He's my God also, so let him communicate to me. Which child need his uncle to come and tell him what his father said? Which child need his neighbor to come and tell him what his father said? Are you a bastard? Even if you're a bastard, he's still your father. Your father will still come to you directly. China produces 2 million engineers every year. Like Asians. Asians also suffer. The Asian people, they suffered. But see, this place our village people are running to these days. What is the name again? I always forget when I want to talk about them. What is this place in Asia that our people are going, selling their liver and doing all sorts of things to make money? Come on. They said that, not Singapore. What is the name of this place our people go to make money today? Oh man, they even at movies, Nigerian movies about them. Now these people, they were Malaysia. Thank you, my dear. Malaysia. Have you read the history of Malaysia? But the palm tree that is giving the money, they came to Africa and took it also. Africans are the people that, when things are not working as they want, they just abandon everything. They say maybe it's not the will of God and begin to run. And other people will come and make money from it. Malaysia, now when you talk, when I was growing up, who know about Malaysia? Nobody. In fact, when I was growing up, nobody knew about China or Japan. What we used to know when I was growing up was what? Taiwan. Made in Taiwan. The same way you have made in China today, all over the place in Nigeria. That's where we used to have made in Japan. Especially I was dealing on motor parts, so it was Taiwan. Taiwan, oh no, this is Taiwan. I mean, it's inferior. And Taiwan, the same way you say made in China today, it used to be made in Taiwan. Asians, they build this, you know how they suffered, both in America, Chinese people, all that. But it's only the Africans that, I'm not talking about African Americans in America, I'm talking about Africans in Africa. They are the one that abandoned their ancestors, abandoned their God, and they embrace the God of white man, embrace the culture of white man. When you say you are following the African tradition, there's no such thing as African tradition in Africa today. It's all colonized African tradition. The real African culture and tradition build city, that's why they put in the Bible and call it Tower of Babel. It was talking about our ancestors who were building cities, building towers, building pyramids. That the point of it we reach heaven. The evil men came and destroyed our ancestors. They say it was God that came and confused the language of the people and scattered them all over the world. That's why everywhere you see Africans. But guess the one you go and embrace as your portion. Deuteronomy. Yeah, God say, I will curse you. You will be slave. That's the way you accepted. No. If you want to accept your ancestors recorded in the Bible, go and read the Genesis chapter 11. What happened at that place in Babel? They decided to build a city for themselves. They weren't depending on anybody. But these evil men that said they are God, their God sent them, they said they came and destroyed them. Tell me what was the sin of the people in Genesis chapter 11 that we are building city, which tower we reach to heaven? What was their sin? Why did that God get jealous? The Europeans get jealous and destroy Africa because they saw the magnificent buildings. Things that our ancestors built, but you know what? They could not destroy all of them because they were made, many of them were made of stones. Till today they exist. But you see some buildings that white men build, you know, they need maintenance. If you don't, they collapse, they fall, they change. But what our ancestors built, even the Chinese people tried to build pyramid, they could not. Our ancestors were smarter than they made you believe. They made you believe against your ancestors, Africans. And today we look like we are dumb. Our ancestors invented mathematics. But today, like myself, math is hard for me to understand because that's the crap they teach me. We're supposed to know all that. Look at other people, Africans. When you say you are cursed, you are not cursed. Chinese people did not say they are cursed. Malaysians did not say they are cursed. Japanese did not say they are cursed. Indonesians said they don't. Even today, some of the clothes you see in America or mostly in Africa, made in Indonesia. You see it there. It's only Africans that believe they are cursed and they quote Bible to support it. Deuteronomy chapter 28, because we did not obey the law of God. We are the Hebrews. We are the Jews. We are the real Israelites. Nonsense. You are not Israelites. You are not Jews. You are not Hebrews. You are Africans. You are black people. Stop living like white people. Stop living like stupid people and start living like Africans. See yourself blessed. You must continue in the business of your ancestors unless you want to remain slaves forever. I will not force anyone, including my daughter, but I will keep telling everyone the truth, including my daughter. You are free to accept whatever you want, to choose whatever way you want to live. But how long will you look at your race? They remain poor. They remain down. They're not doing anything. You say you are praising white men, but you are against religion. Nonsense. Who gave you religion? Who gave you Christianity and Islam? Christianity and Islam were tools used to keep you in slavery, whether you like it or not. That's why all your Christian leaders and the Muslim leaders, they cannot speak against the injustice going on. That's why I'm against when somebody say give to the poor. No, before you say give to the poor, I want you to deal with those people who are making them poor. You said Jesus said give to the poor. Why didn't Jesus stop those that were making those people poor? Even John the Baptist in the Bible preached better gospel than Jesus. John the Baptist looked to the soldiers. He said, stop taking people things by force. Give back to them what belongs to them. Jesus did not preach that. Jesus said, go tell that fox, today I will walk, tomorrow I will do nonsense. Why are we dealing with the branches? Why the root is there where the problem is? Imagine how the world will be if all the religious leaders begin to speak against the evil of politicians. They know politicians have gone, they begin to blow up their churches and mosques and say, no more, we don't need you here. But guess who is encouraging all the evil in the land? The poor masses. The poor masses that are voting. The poor masses that are worshipping. They are the one that is encouraging the evil in the land. If the poor masses will say enough is enough, boom, that will be the end of it. Think about it. It is your life. It's not my life. I have decided to live my simple life while I am fighting for our people to be liberated, for our people to do the right thing. We can build ourselves up without depending on UN, especially when you believe that we are the original people. When you believe that we are first people that God created, then why are we still slaves depending on UN or Americans or Europeans? Why? Jesus' parents took him to the temple where they brainwashed people. But Jesus was asking them questions. They said what he was listening and questioning them. They were marveled at his doctrine, at his question. He asked them question. You telling me Jesus is coming very soon? When was that preached? When was that first preached? Yeah, but he hasn't come, and you still want me to keep believing that nonsense? He was questioning them. The same thing when you question religious people today, they get upset. They begin to call you names because they can't give you answer. Right? Why they believe the Bible is their answer. Which Bible? Bible is a work of fiction. It will confuse you the more until you begin to read it with common sense. The only way you can understand the Bible is by reading it with common sense. But when you see it as a word of God, as a spiritual book, as a coded book, no, there's nothing coded. There's nothing mystery about the Bible. Okay? And when you're talking about mystery, it means you don't understand. Anything you don't understand is a mystery to you. But there's no such thing as mystery. You're supposed to understand it. You can understand it. Yeah, 2,000 years don't pass. Yeah, Jesus is not showing up. At least now we have phone. Like, this is my iPhone. I can test chat with Jesus and show it to everybody. Okay, brethren, friends, this is Jesus talking with me now. Meet Jesus. Jesus will say hi. But I guess if I show a black man say it's Jesus, many people will hate me. I was thinking something today. I said, the white people don't have problem so long you are saying Jesus is Lord. So long you believe in Jesus. In Quran, in Bible, they believe in Jesus, right? White people don't have problem with that because they know you believe that Jesus is white man, right? So long you saying Jesus is Lord, it means you are saying they are superior to you. You are saying the white people are superior to you. That's what it means. But begin to talk about your ancestors. What? The white people will say, no, stop, it's not true. You're talking nonsense. They will be against you. Start talking about your ancestors. You see, even white people will be against you. Because they know where you're going to. They know what will happen to them when you begin to follow, or when you begin to when you begin where your ancestors stopped. They know you will revolt. They know you will revenge and they know you will recover. They don't want you to do that, but it's in your hand. They are waiting for you to rise up. That's why they are building weapons waiting for you. But the only thing that will subdue their weapon is African power. The power that will make their weapon, when they throw it, it will turn that weapon into toy. African power can do that. You call it voodoo, you call it juju, you call it charm, you call it atiba. Yes, African power can turn that atomic bomb or nuclear weapon, it can turn it into a toy. Then you take it and go and throw it in the ocean and it will explode there. Africans, that's what we are lacking. We don't need weapons. We can buy weapons. We can make weapons. But where is the African power? I'm asking us, where is that power that our ancestors had that made white people to go and begin to buy the sellouts among our ancestors to kill the people that were holding that power? That's what they did to our ancestors. They found out the weapons cannot stand them. That's how the Benin, the last kingdom they defeated in Africa was Benin Kingdom. They said there was this man in Benin. Then if you draw a line with his staff, that line, you don't see it, but nobody will see it, but it's a valley. The enemies will be coming there with white people. They fell in there. That's why they tell you, kill the shepherd, then the sheep will scatter. They will kill the one, they pay somebody. There's always sellout. People that if you give them something, promising them heaven and earth, they can kill anybody. They say, kill that man. That man is against you. That man is, they succeeded in making people to kill him. Then they defeated the kingdom. So long Africans stand with African power, they are unstoppable and undefeated. They were indomitable until they destroyed those that have that power. They destroyed them and they made those people that killed them chiefs. When you're talking about all these chief kings, our ancestors had what we call elders before white men came. And among the elders, they know who is who. They know what you have. They know the power you have. I remember that man, that one of my ancestors in my village, his name is Mbachu. If you're from Ibubumuchu, you may know about Mbachu or Dowu about Mbachu. He used to transform himself into a lion. He used to transform himself into a pregnant woman. It's African power. So when they tell you all that in the Bible, that God will tell Moses to throw a staff and the staff turn into a snake, serpent, you believe that one. But when it comes to Africa, I said, no, it's demonic, it's witchcraft. What did Moses do? Moses was a black man also, according to Bible. That's why when God said, put your hand in your bosom, he put it and brought it back. It became white. So he was black man. A white man cannot become white again. A white man hand cannot turn into white. He's white already. Moses was a black man, according to Bible. Oh man, these people really mess us up with all those lies. Yeah. Pastor from South Africa, they call Jesus for phone. Yeah, I had that one to that stupid thing. Jesus cannot make him to make phone for his church members, but he can call Jesus or God on the phone. The one is saying he got God's phone number. The phone made by someone that don't believe in that God. Phone made by someone that don't believe in that Jesus. Yet you can use the phone to communicate with your God. Your God cannot give you the power to make phone. At least your church members, they get phone for free. Because it's a business. It's nothing free. Going to church is not free. Worshipping God is not free. You have to come with your money. They use Bible to deceive you that I must not appear before God empty-handed. Excuse me, which empty-handed? You have faith. So you cannot come empty-handed. You have faith, don't you? At least I've been saving myself a lot. I don't give tithes and offering. I don't buy any Christian material nonsense, nothing. What I buy what I use. I buy cologne that I use. I buy sneakers. I buy clothes. Something that I buy things for my daughter. I buy things for my family. That's what I can do. be telling me to go and give a dime to a church? I will never do that, no matter what. Even if they are crying with and their tears, their sweat and their tears turn into blood, I will never. They have robbed me enough, and they're still robbing my parents. Imagine my parents are paying for whatever they're paying for their children. Why should parents be paying anything to the church for their children? And if you don't, when something happens, the church said they will not come. And we continue in that nonsense. How these people invaded our land and turned us into slaves in our land. We are paying to worship their God. Our ancestors weren't paying to worship any God. And you think you are wise. When you say you are wise, you are fools. You Christians, you Muslims, I mean the African Christians, African Muslims, you are fools. Your ancestors were wiser than you. Your ancestors did not worship foreign gods. As I said earlier, they have to kill them to force the ones that accepted them to accept their God and their religion. Now, let me go back to Bible again, as I said. Has Jesus followed the doctrine that his parents taught him, they would have not said he is out of his mind. They would have not said he's mad. You know, some Christians don't know that people say Jesus was mad in the Bible. They did not know. So when they tell me you are mad, I say, it's the same thing they said to Jesus in your Bible. They said Jesus was mad. He was out of his mind. He was cuckoo. He said, don't listen to him. The same way you are telling people, don't listen to me. And I don't care whether you listen to me or not. I was prepared for this before your parents and your parents were conceived. You won't get what I'm saying. You will understand. What I am doing now, I was prepared before you were conceived. I'm not posting for you to like. No. I'm not posting for seeking for your like. Or seeking, I'm not selling anything. I'm not. So some people will come and say nobody is commenting, nobody is liking your post. I don't care. I am a seed sower. I am a witness. I am sowing seed. It must not be you, may be your children's children that will accept what I'm saying. But somebody will accept it. Somebody was meant for. So I cannot stop. I will keep sowing the seed. Okay? So if you don't allow the seed to grow in you, it will grow somewhere else. Mark chapter 3. Let's see what they said about Jesus. To show you that Jesus did not preach the whatever his parents or his people believed in. He did not continue in the religion of his parents. Whether you say it's a Jewish religion, whether you call it Judaism, or whatever you call it. Jesus did not preach that. So they were against him, even his family. Mark chapter 3. 21 to 22 and 31 to 32. Let me drink something a day. In 21 and 22. Or let me read it from 20 to 22. It said, then the multitude came together again so that they could not so much as eat bread. Verse 21. But when Jesus' own people heard about this, they went out to lay hold on him. For they said he is out of his mind. Jesus' people, they saw the multitude coming to listen to Jesus. That people were even don't have time to eat. They were just listening to what Jesus is saying. It's different from what their doctrine or their teachers of the law, the scribes and Pharisees were teaching them. Multitude, great people gathered to listen to Jesus. Now, his own people, Jesus' own people, they came to lay hold on him, to come and take him. They said he is out of his mind. Is it not the same thing you are saying about me? You say I'm out of my mind? When I tell you the truth about marriage, when I tell you the truth about your ancestors, when I tell you the truth about Christianity, when I tell you the truth about Islam, when I tell you the truth about the politics of the day, you think I'm out of my mind. But all I'm asking you is to think for yourself. When you think for yourself, you no longer follow the crowd. You will live better. They said Jesus was out of his mind. See what verse 22 said. And the scribes who came down from Jerusalem. Remember, Jerusalem was where he grew up, where he was asking them questions. These scribes came down from Jerusalem. Maybe the same scribes he was asking questions. Then they said, he has Beelzebub, and by the ruler of the demons, he casts out demons. The scribes, people that taught him religion, people that taught him about God, in the temple where he was going with his parents, they have to come down and say, this guy is demon possessed. That's why he can cast out demons. The same thing you are saying about me, Christian said, I am demon possessed. If I am demon possessed, then Jesus said, in his name you should cast out demons. What are you waiting to cast out demons out of my life? Or does it mean you are ignorant of what you believe and what you are preaching? If you believe I am demon possessed, cast out the demons and set me free. But you cannot, because you are the one that is demon possessed. I'm thinking I am possessed like you. I'm not. I'm not possessed by any spirit. I am who I am what I am. I am human. I have knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. I have common sense to think for myself. I don't depend on any spirit to guide me. I don't depend on any spirit to lead me. I lead myself. Let me say what happened today. So I was getting ready to go to work or something like that, right? But I begin to have these feelings, you know, they may cancel me today. Seriously, I was, because I used to try to catch sleep before I go to work. So I was like, let me not sleep. Let me just wait, they will cancel me today. They may cancel me today. I have that strong feelings. So few minutes to 2 p.m. my phone rang. I look, it's my work. They say, oh, we have low census. We're canceling you today. I say, see, I would have just listened to myself. And that's what I've been trying to do, trying to understand myself. And I've been saying that to us. What we call the voice of the Holy Spirit is the voice of our conscience. It is us communicating with us. But they tell you it's a God, it's a Holy Spirit somewhere else. No. The voice you hear in your dream, the voice you hear within yourself, it is the voice of your conscience. It has nothing to do with any spirit, good or bad. If you can listen to yourself, you will never get sick. Do you know that? You will never fall into any trap or have any problem if you can listen to yourself. All of us, we have been taught to distance ourselves from ourselves. So it is hard for us to listen to ourselves. Even when ourselves is telling us this is danger coming, we ignore it because we don't listen to ourselves. But our ancestors taught us to know ourselves. Man, know yourself. You have power. You are the one giving that God power. That thing you call the power of God is power of man. It's a natural power that man has. You also need fortification from Ali. That's what I've been saying, that you can't just go and you need that African power. You have to be fortified. All right? God cannot save you. That's the power I want us to restore. If we can restore that power, you see how easy we will recover our heritage. We begin to see one another as brothers and sisters. No more, I am from Cameroon, I am from Nigeria, I am from Ghana. No, we are all one, Africans. It is white men that brought division among us and cement that that division with religions of Christianity, Islam. You see African Muslim, clean African Christian. It don't supposed to be so. You see African Christian hating African Muslim. It don't supposed to be so. We are divided because white people came and divided us. Then they keep us in that mental slavery after the physical slavery. with religion of Christianity and Islam. Jesus' own people say he was out of his mind. And his own religious leader said he was demon possessed. Because religious people always see demon. A lady in one of my Facebook profile, she embossed me today. She said, I don't like the way you speak against Jesus, the Son of God. you know my reply. You know my reply. I said, fuck Jesus, the Son of God. Okay. Then she replied, something is wrong with you. I can see that in you. So I replied, how I wish you can see what is in you first. Religious people don't see what is in them. They always see what is in you. They see that, oh, you are speaking against Jesus. You are evil. I see evil in you. I see bitterness in you. I see anger in you. They always see negative thing in you. But they cannot even see a positive thing in themselves. That's why they go to their pastor to see for them. If you can see anything in me, why are you going to any church or any pastor or any man or any spiritual person to see for you? How I wish your eyes will open. Jesus' own people said he was out of his mind because he was not preaching the doctrine they know of. He said his doctrine is from him who sent him, and they must be after his own father's business. Then his own people came and said, you are out of your mind. Then the religious leader said, he is demon possessed. Okay, 31 and 32, the same Mark chapter 3, 31 and 32. Then his brothers and his mother came. Jesus continued in the doctrine that his father, his mother, his people, his siblings knew nothing about. They have to come. They came standing outside, not inside. Your parents will never agree with you when you begin to tell them the truth about Africa, about our ancestors, because Christianity and Islam already brainwashed them and taught them that error, which they taught us. And they expected us to continue in that error, but suddenly you come up and say, no, something is wrong. It's not that way. If Jesus is my Lord, why am I suffering? If God lost me, why am I suffering? You say it's my fault. Why can't God fix me? You say it's because of my sin. Why is my sin greater than God? Why can't God help me even if it's my fault? He's almighty, for crying out loud. His brothers and mother came standing outside. They sent to him, calling him. And a multitude was sitting around him, and they said to him, look, your mother and your brothers are outside seeking you. In just one chapter of book of Mark, chapter 3, 3 people came to take Jesus because they considered or they concluded he was out of his mind. He was demon possessed. He was by himself. He's cuckoo. He's crazy. His people, his own people that said they are people of God, they came. They say he's out of his mind. His religious leaders or teachers, the scribes, they came saying he's demon possessed. Then his own mother and his own brothers, those of you that said Mary did not have any other children after Jesus, you are ignorant of what you're saying. According to the Bible, Jesus had brothers and sisters from his mother, Mary. Not step brothers. Not step brothers. He said his brothers and his mother. Unless Mary is his stepmother. You believe Mary is the mother of Jesus, but you don't believe his brothers existed, as Bible said, because you believe in that nonsense, that Mary is a virgin mother. You see, for you to believe a mother is a virgin, don't you see you are stupid, you are delusional, you are religious, you are very religious, you are not using your senses. How can a mother remain a virgin after giving birth? For the fact the mother is pregnant, she is no longer a virgin. So there's no such thing as virgin birth. The moment she took him, she's no longer a virgin. You can say virgin conceived, okay, but virgin birth, there's no such thing as virgin birth. You have to be pregnant to give birth. It's pregnant women that give birth. Virgins don't give birth. There's no such thing as immaculate birth or all that nonsense. No. We have to consider our ancestors, not the lies that our parents taught us, because Christianity, Islam taught them the same thing. Which doctrine are you upholding? The doctrine of your parents, who are ignorant, or the doctrine of your ancestors, who were great and powerful and were cured, to force your parents to accept that lie? I have decided to uphold the doctrine of my ancestors. Remember, I did not say the religion of my ancestors. I don't believe in any religion. I don't have any religion. I don't care whatever name you call it or wherever I come from. Trash religion. Okay? I'm talking about the doctrine. What my ancestors taught. What my ancestors used to become great. They were inventing things. They were manufacturing things. They were producing things. Teaching their children. Until the evil men came and destroyed our ancestors. But you can cut down the tree, but the root is still intact. The tree will grow again. Africa is growing again, but Africans need to wake up so that we grow together with that tree. It's a tree of knowledge that religion hates. It's a tree of power that religion hates. It's a tree of glory. We need to grow with that African tree. Africa is a great people or place, a great thing for us. The best thing that can ever happen to any African is Africa. We need to restore our glory. We need to restore our power. And with that power, we will recover our heritage. The world will begin to respect us again. Why is it that the world don't care about Africans today? Because we lack power. We need to restore it. My ancestors is everything for me. Now I have gone back to root, of course. The root matters. You also need for before. So the root matters. Jesus was pointing to his root according to the Bible. He did not live by the doctrine of his people. He did not live by the doctrine of his parents. He did not live by the doctrines of the scribes. Say, my doctrine is from him who sent me. You can read it again. John chapter 7, 16 and 18. Jesus did not live by the doctrines of his people. Jesus did not live by the doctrines of his parents. Jesus did not live by the doctrines of his religious leaders. And they were after him. I wrote down something. I said, our parents were forced to accept the teachings of Christianity and Islam. You can add Judaism there. But our ancestors didn't teach us about Christianity, Islam, or Judaism. Our ancestors taught us about the law of nature. the law of opposite, the law of nature. If there is God, there is goddess. If there is male, there is female. If there is a man, there is a woman. It's not all this nonsense about Trinity. It's not all this nonsense about one God over all. Our ancestors did not teach us that. Our ancestors taught what was called the law of Ma'at. And with that law, they were living in peace, unity, and love for one another. And it's from that law they tell us, man, know yourself. Man, know yourself. When you know yourself, you don't need any law to tell you how to live. When you know yourself, you will live humanly. You will live better. You will see people as you see yourself. You will not go to take their land. You will not go to take what belongs to them unless you ask them, they say, take. People that invaded Africa, people that enslaved Africans, hated Africans. They also did not know themselves. Had they known themselves, they would have not done what they did to Africa and Africans. When you know yourself as a human being, you will not plan evil against anybody. Check all the evil people in the world. They are religious people. People that are doing the evil you see in the world today, they are very religious. They believe in God. Sometimes they hear the voice of that God telling them to go kill, telling them to go steal, telling them to go do one evil thing or the other. But your humanity will teach you that when you pinch yourself, it hurts. Don't pinch somebody else. You don't need any God to tell you that. You don't need any law to teach you that. Wake up, my people. I'm not asking you to be like me. I'm not asking you to think like me. I'm just asking you to think for yourself. Be yourself. You are human. You are greater than any invisible almighty God. You are greater than any religion. You are greater than any doctrine that men taught you. It's time for you to go back to your root. Africans are the only people that forgot their roots. But other people, they still hold to their roots. White people hold to their roots. Asians hold to their roots. But Africans kick their roots away. But do you know what? You cannot kick it away forever. It's still there. You only kick it away, but it's still there. It did not go anywhere. You kick it and move. You are the one that moved. Your ancestors are where they are. They are calling you. They are waiting for you. Remember, I did not say they are spirits. I said they are calling you. They are waiting for you. Because you are one of them. You are also an ancestor. Soon, you will join the ancestors. And those of us that are alive will also be calling you ancestors. It is your life. You were not born to live by what you met. You were born to live the natural life, not what men taught you, not what your people taught you, but the truth, the factual truth. 1 plus 1 is 2. Anybody telling you 1 plus 1 is 1 is not telling you the truth. And if you're not telling the truth, what are you? A liar. I want to read in closing John chapter 7. He said, after this things, Jesus walked in Galilee, for he did not want to walk in Judea. Where was Jesus born? Bethlehem, Judea, right? Okay. He refused to walk in Judea. Why? Say because the Jews sought to kill him. Jewish, God's the people you call the people of God. They sought to kill Jesus. Is it not the same thing going on today? Christians are seeking to kill me. They are seeking to kill anyone that is preaching the truth about how Jesus is a fictional character, about how God does not. Is it not the same thing theists are doing today? They are seeking to kill you. They are looking ways to kill you. The same thing Muslims are doing today. Do you know what verse 5 said about Jesus and his brothers? John chapter 7 verse 5. He said, for even his brothers did not believe in him. Jesus' brothers did not believe in him. They say he was crazy. But I'm not asking you to believe in me. I'm asking you to believe in yourself. I'm asking you to think for yourself. I'm asking you to consider your ancestors. Don't die in the lies that your parents taught you. Don't die in that lie, in that doctrine of error, in that doctrine of falsehood that your parents indoctrinated you to believe in. It is time you consider your ancestors, because that doctrines that your parents taught you has not helped either you or your parents. It's time for you to go back to your root. Then you can start to build a city with towers that reaches into heaven, that other people will not know how you manage to build them. Thank you for sharing. This is what I want to share with you. Feel free to always contribute. You have something to contribute. I love you all. Peace.